Okay, we are live yet again, and we are now at the third week of the course in applied IoT. So far, it's been quite busy days for you and Hamed and the rest of the team.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's been
it's fun. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been fun.
And if you are watching this, you can interact. The easiest way is just to interact via the Discord server. We are checking the live lecture question channel. And if you just put something there that you want us to raise, are you available for a minute? Someone asked. But yeah, maybe after this vlog if you want to meet in person. But yes. So let's start with the agenda. And the agenda is also found in the server. I published the HackMD document, which you can see here now. And let's start with discussing a little bit what has been done this week. And I think the big thing that we've done this week, well, regardless of all the other things that has been done this week in terms of workshops, because there has been plenty of workshops as well. But yesterday was a big day for at least us in the lab. We did a lot of activities during that day. It was a long day, and David and Hamed, you actually went into office quite late today.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
For
obvious reasons is that,
this reason.
well, you spent, well, you were out a bit later than me, at least.
Yeah. We were working.
Yeah, you're still young. So we had a long day. We did the 3D printing workshop, and at this very moment, we haven't put the time slots into the YouTube video. I will do that, but it will also take some time. So time stamps on the YouTube video. But to make it easy, if you didn't follow the 3D printing workshop yesterday, go into the live stream and then skip forward approximately 1 hour, because we started that at 10 o'clock. And then the workshop was 2 hours long. So, and that is considered to be as a lecture for you being able to do the fourth quiz, because now all quizzes are distributed. We also had we also demonstrated a lot of the projects that we are doing in the lab, both research projects, such as the ferry. We were visited by Uptilt, and they did this bath temperature sensor. Was it working while we
Yeah.
dare to?
Yeah, let's go. I think we should see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's free. Different. Why is it free?
This is a little worrying. Which one is all are the same, or yeah?
Okay.
Yeah.
It seems that it might be some issues with the application, but it's still, we can see the temperature. So yeah, good enough, I guess. They did this quite quick during the day. But yeah, we got to see that as well.
Yeah.
And we did some unboxing. And
what we have in that box. So we had, I think, this was one of the things that was in the box. You opened this, and we opened it, and Hamed have soldered a connector. There, and we're gonna use this to program the device now. So yeah, what does this do?
This is a PLC, industrial PLC.
Yeah. So we can control like stuff with it.
Exactly. It supports Modbus. It supports Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, and at the same time, I think it's also support CAN.
Canvas.
Yeah, it's a canvas, so it's used. Is it usually like, I think it's more in the car,
Yeah.
but yeah, we can try with that.
Yeah.
Even can. So
Mm.
today we had like a hack a day. So morning we had a couple of hours. So we tried to just hack it to
Yeah.
see how can we program it.
Yeah.
That was really
And
nice.
it's a nice thing if you want to control stuff, actuators, read sensor data, and yeah, it works, I think, with 0 to 10 volt and also 4 to 20 milliamp.
We try not to go to the lab
Yeah.
because there are a lot of sensors there, and then it just
end up spending time and not doing anything. No actual work, just playing around.
Yeah. So, I mean, actually, well, that's obviously a favorite thing to do is unboxing. It's always so fun to open boxes of new stuff. So, and I didn't do anything of that yesterday. You got all the fun parts.
And
So-
imagine this is like one of probably like 30 items inside that box. So
Yeah.
like we're nowhere close to done at this point.
Yeah. And well, but yeah, so that was fun, and good to hear that you had fun. And we also recorded a bit of the fun. Hopefully it was fun to watch as well. We also visited the business lab, and they were really professional. So actually, I think that the most sort of planned thing during the day might have been the visit to the business lab with John and Kattis. They did a good job, and I hope you find it worth watching. It's not required, as you know, so don't feel stressed about like, okay, we are streaming 12 hours, and well, I don't actually think that, well, you don't need to watch it. The only part is the 3D printing workshop that is sort of a material that is included in the course. Everything else is bonus, but that is how things are in this course. A lot of things are bonus material by default. So essentially, as we have said, well, you can join in, follow the roadmap, do whatever you want on your own, and then present the project in the end. You will pass the course. But the main thing of this course, what we have figured out is that, well, I think the biggest selling point is that we are doing it together. We are having fun together. We are meeting other people, and we're doing stuff that matters and doing it together with other people that are interested in, or as nerdy as yourself. I think that's the fun part. So obviously, if you think IoT is fun, maybe there are some things that are worth watching during that day. Yeah, we also had a lot of AI discussions during the day, and I think perhaps one of the most interesting discussions happened when I was speaking with Tobias just in the very end of the evening. So like this last half for 40 minutes of the stream, about that time, I was sitting at the table drinking a beer with Tobias, and we were talking a lot about AI and software development. I think for me, it was an interesting discussion, at least. So we will add timestamps.
Was also fun. The one that you wanted during the presentation.
Yeah.
The 3-year-old quiz.
Exactly. I think that was also super. I mean, yeah, please watch the part with the visual quiz for the AI presentation. That was well done, I think. So, yes, and one thing I should mention is that, well, please do the quizzes. It's really time. And if you're, as we've said, the quizzes, they have this soft deadline. That means that you can essentially do them the last day, but it's also a way for us to measure activity in the course. And what might happen is that if you haven't done any quizzes at all, I'm just saying, the system might kick you out. that is that you will be considered as an inactive student and you might be kicked out of the course in Ladok. And then that is a hassle. Then you would have to contact an administrator to be registered again, and then it will likely be a problem. So just do the quizzes. If you haven't done any, well, please do them, at least one of them right away, because otherwise you might be flagged as an inactive student. And that is sort of the same thing with almost all university courses, that about halfway or a couple of weeks into the course, if you haven't done anything, there is this activity check, and then the system kicks you out. So just heads up, if you haven't done any of the quizzes, please do. Otherwise, you might get kicked out of the course. And well, if we're going to talk a little bit about this week, you actually put links here. Let's do it like this so we can see the links. This week recap: focus on visualization, follow the roadmap, and then yeah, it was maybe like generally speaking about the workshops this week. How much has it been on visualization, and how much has it been on helping out people with what was supposed to be done before? Or
yeah, I think most of the students that we have met so far are working on data visualization. But there are obviously also some that are still doing part 2, some even part 1. But yeah, focus on, I would say, if everyone just focuses on making sure that they actually follow the roadmap and finish the third part, do something, even if you have ambitious ideas. We discussed it earlier. Make sure that you have something that you can submit to kind of guarantee a submission. And then if you find that, okay, now I do have more time, go wild and explore like other options, other tools. And but yeah, make sure that you're in phase and have everything needed to submit for a grade. Otherwise, yeah, if like you haven't done everything and still have these ambitious ideas, you might end up stressing, I would say, and then that's no fun.
And also I should add, like, work on your reports, because report, if we leave it for last day, usually is stressful to finish. Because, and also, if I'm correct, examiner look at the reports, and then that's the things that the examiners see. So when you talk to the TAs, we know that what you are doing, but you also need to present it in a way the examiner also see it.
Yeah, so that's a very good point. So start early on that, and I'm actually having a point later in the document about the report. So you put some pictures here about the voting.
This is how it looks like, and we encourage everyone to go into the vote channel and update the vote. So if you previously voted for not finished with part 2 and now is, just go back to the vote channel and update that vote, so we know how many have finished what parts, and what parts we should focus or put some more effort into.
Great.
But yeah, other than that, I don't think that
we have some statistics as well. As always. Yeah.
So you can see Per Automatik is still number 1.
Yeah, good work.
Yeah,
84 hours.
I don't know who that is actually. Maybe it's one of the TAs. Is it you? No,
no, not me.
Who's Per Automatik?
It's 84 hours.
Yeah, so this is, it's actually interesting. And I see that the workshop admin bumped up in the number of messages. I think we had, we didn't have over 1,000 last week. So,
and this is for the last week. So
no, this is the always 30 days back, but we'll do some in the last weekly vlog. We'll do some fun statistics. We'll do some cool visualizations. yeah, I'm not gonna promise too much. It won't be like 3D effects and stuff like that. But yeah,
is it you, the second one on messages?
no, it's no. I think like this week I'm probably fifth. I think.
Yeah.
I
it's the same here.
Yeah.
Like yesterday, yeah. But it's really nice to see like we have like some working on this because it shows that they have been online working on the course for 85 hours.
You can see Joachim there, top one, is actually, I don't know, maybe that's becoming a problem.
And also, it's not a competition at all. So
we enjoy like
it's just fun.
Yeah.
And that was this week so far. And let's talk about next week. We do have next week is project time week. So we have done all this. The first 3 weeks has been like modular in that way that we like start with hardware, start with connecting things, and then start with some visualization. Now, next week is project time. So this, if you haven't decided on what you're going to do, now is the time. So you should have an idea of what to do. And as we have said before, I mean, if you don't have an idea of what to do, speak with someone, bring it up with a TA, look at previous projects last year, and then you could just choose something that someone else has done and build the same thing and do it your way. So the point here is that try to decide on that if you haven't as soon as possible, because next week will be you finalizing your project more or less. Obviously, there is more time, but next week is the week that things will need to be starting to finalize.
Yeah.
And you will work like the workshops next week that will be project support time.
Yeah, so we're thinking because by next week everyone would have gone through how to connect sensors, so that is hopefully something that everyone have learned. How to connect is also something that we hope everyone have done by now, and data visualization. So the fourth week is basically assemble everything, all the knowledge that you've gathered so far, and make your own story. So shape your project, form your project. Then the workshops that we have are, we're only helping people get started with their projects.
Yes, everything with the project. And also next week we are available the most times, I think 20 hours.
Yeah, we put actually most amount of hours is for the fourth week.
Exactly.
So next week will be the really like top of the workshop week, so to say. So, and it could be low and high in the number of, like, it could be like, oh, I'm not getting this to work until, it could also be, I need some advice on my project and I've sort of finalized, but could you give me some advice on this? And the point here is that you, like all the TAs, they are in this course to help you out. They are not doing the grading. Like David and Ahmed, your role and the other TA's role is to help, support. So, well, that's really the goal. Make things better and help you on your learning. So you don't have the boring task of grading someone, which is also making it easier for you to actually just be supportive.
Think about it.
That's true.
We're there to help.
Yes.
I also wrote something here about if you need to order additional components, sensors, whatever, do it as soon as possible, so you have it at least like by by Wednesday, Thursday next week. So you have the remaining time, let's say Thursday, Friday, hopefully, and also the weekend to work on and finalize whatever you're thinking of doing. So if you want to order things, now is the time.
Yeah, that's a good point. and or if you have burned your sensors. Time slots for presentations. So because next week, even though we're focusing on getting the projects finalized, very near next week, the week after, we're going to have the presentations. So on Monday, we will distribute a list. It will be in sort of the same format as the list for higher grades. So just a simple document. We will put up time slots, and we'll distribute this on Monday. So then you can start putting up your name on a slot that fits you the best during the week. And if you just we talk about more that, like the report also next week, is that you should almost be done. When I say almost, I mean let's say Friday next week. If you don't want to work the weekend, on Friday next week, you should have a pretty good draft of your report done. So then you shouldn't start on the report the week after, because then it will be a bit stressful for you. But the deadline isn't next week. It's actually Monday, the week after. You can see it in the canvas. But next week is really the time when you work on your report, you finalize your project, try to wrap things up, get it to work, and all that fun. If you want feedback, please ask for it. I'm not sure if we do have a feedback channel in the server. We do. Yeah. So if you have, like, I've written my report now and I would like some feedback, well, share it and share your project. No problem. So ask for feedback. There was also some suggestion of that we don't really have the means of testing out different IoT solutions. If you want someone to test your solution, if you have something like, okay, I built my dashboard and could I get some input? Ask. There are several people, including me and the TAs and like everyone in the course, that happily will give you feedback if you need it. But you need to ask. If you don't ask, no one will be able to give some feedback.
I have a question here.
Yeah.
Will it affect the final grade if we choose a low-code solution or a self-hosted one?
Obviously, it will affect the grade, yes. It's always hard to sort of say exactly. That's why we have this process of talking with the TA and such. I think I explained this a little bit more in the study guide video when I was talking about grades. And you can also look at that bullet list I wrote, what is required of each grade. But generally speaking, if you connect maybe one sensor, like I have my DHT11 sensor, I've got it work, and then you visualize that in a low code environment that is maybe Adafruit, Datacake, or whatever, and you have 15 lines of code on your device, that is not a high grade project. That will be like a standard grade project, just to say. So to get a high grade, you usually want to do something that is above the basic requirements. But it's not, I would say, it's not that you can't get a higher grade just because you use Datacake or Adafruit, because you might have added things on your device. You might have several sensors. You might have extended some code base or some intelligence. You might have built a really advanced dashboard or a system or some kind of integration. So it's hard. So that's why bring it up if you're unsure, and we're happy to help. And but there are some general advice and requirement. If you look at the study guide video, you'll get a clear understanding, hopefully, at least a better one, and then bring it up in discussions. We have a good feeling when we you have been around a lot of different projects, David and Hamed, during the years. So most of the TAs will be able to answer like, okay, this is generally a higher grade project, and that is generally not. So,
and also, Cole ask a question. By Monday, do we mean week 5? Yes, I think.
Yes. So maybe it's a little bit unclear, but I'm actually skipping 1 week ahead now because we will iterate back. So I'm sure next video blog next week, I will say the same things. But just to keep you on up to speed, that now I'm talking about the last week below this headline, that the last week of the course, and I mean, it's just the next week, and then we are at the last week. So the 5th week. A lot of things happen that week. So next week, generally, the only thing that happens is that you are working on your project. You get all the help that you need, and you should finalize the report. That is what happens next week. But the week after, if you haven't done that, it will be either very stressful or not doable. But Monday, the last week. So then you will have to hand in your report. And the report is, you just hand it in via Canvas. I might do a separate recording of just showing how to click, so that is clear. But I think most of you will just figure it out. And you just drop a link to your HackMD project. That's sort of it. But that happens Monday. Some people will actually do the presentation on Monday before the deadline for the hand-in. So the presentations for the projects also starts on Monday. And on Monday, after you have handed in your project, now I'm skipping. After you have handed in your project on Monday, also the last week, then we open up for peer review. That means you all will need to do a peer review. That is that you need to do to pass the course. And the peer review is essentially just me pushing a button in the Canvas system, and it will randomize 3 other students' reports for you to do a peer review on. When you do your peer review, it should be very simple. There is a rubric, but like a point system. And essentially, if you look at the tutorial template, you see that there are, if I go down a little bit, there are checkboxes here. 1 checkbox means 1 point. So if you forgot your title, well, you won't get a point for the title. If you forgot to write your name and student credentials, well, you won't get a point. Actually, you won't get a grade at all. But anyhow, what I'm trying to say here is that it's actually super easy. What you will do when you do peer review is that you will read the other person's report and then sort of just cross things off. So you don't need to elaborate and give like an extended feedback, and that you more or less just check the report and see that it fulfills all these checkboxes. You can also add comments and discussions, etc. The more, the better, obviously. But the general thing you need to do is to sort of count the number of things that it fulfills, and then you grade it. You give that point in the system. So if you count 20 checkboxes, well, you write the number 20 and then press submit, and then that peer review is done, and then you go on to the next one. So this is a quite neat way of being able to make the grading a lot easier, because then we sort of flatten out a lot of unnecessary mistakes during the week. So during the peer review week, you need to do free peer reviews that we will see if you have done them or not. So that is required of you. So if you want to pass even get a grade in the course, you need to read other people's reports. And often this is super fun. So it won't take super long time. The thing here is that you are able to change. So it's not that you're like grading someone else, you're helping them. That's the point with the peer review. You help them to make their reports better. So if you are reading another person's report and then you see that there are a couple of things that are missing or not explained as good so that you can understand them, what you could do is ping them in Discord, send them a message, and then say, well, I've seen that you missed this and this and this. Could you add this? And then they will change it. And then you will also actually maybe put a couple of more points on that report. It's that simple. You help each other together. That's the point of the peer review. And you as students, as you actually are dropping a link into the Canvas system, you are essentially able to change your report anytime during the way. So it's not that you drop a static PDF into a learning system, like a learning platform. You are just dropping a link, and that link is editable by you at anytime. So you are able to work on that. Obviously, it should be done when the peer review starts, because otherwise we will have a process that is broken from the beginning. So when you hand in the report on Monday, it should be done. But I'm just saying, during the week, you are able to make things better. That's what I'm saying. And also the last week, Monday to Wednesday, that will be focusing on the sort of the C projects, or not the higher grade projects. And Thursday, Friday, that we will keep for the AB projects. That's the general plan for the week. So the AB projects during Thursday, Friday, they might be one at a time, and we might put up the stream so everyone can join in and see. The requirement for an AB project is generally a little bit, they are higher. So we expect more from an AB project in terms of presentation and project complexity. So they are often very fun to watch. So then we are going to see on Thursday, Friday, like the best projects. That's the plan. The Hall of Fame, so to say. So if you want to belong in the Hall of Fame, obviously Thursday, Friday. Yeah.
No, to be honest, we have seen some of those, like what they're gonna present. I mean, watch that. They're really amazing projects there.
Yeah. So it will be fun. And if you want to sort of I'm just here for like a very basic project, I just want to do my presentation and get it over with. Well, if you have, that's fine, but you will still have to present. Well, then it will be Monday to Wednesday.
Yeah.
And these will most likely happen in parallel. So we will have so many students. So it will be impossible for us to accommodate like a time slot in order. Then it will be 24/7, and I'm not sure even if that would be enough. So Monday, Wednesday, there will be a lot of presentation. They will be in parallel, and we'll sort that out. Thursday, Friday, a bit more slow and more focusing on showcasing, let's say, the Hall of Fame projects. And talking about the report, I did say earlier that I probably were going to record yet another video of the IoT tutorial template video, but I chose not to do it after I skimmed through the last year, because it's still valid. So just watch that and you will get a really good understanding on how to fill in your report. And there is even not any, I don't even need to change any links or whatever, because it's already been there all the time. Like if you go into the Canva site, you have this IoT tutorial template, this one. And I actually added a little bit here, like add like a question mark edit after the link. That is a way for you to get the source code of, when I talk about source code, but you get the markdown instead. So if you go up to the bar here, and then I just press edit, I get the same document. And if you start, there is some information up here. That is obviously not anything that you need to include. But you see here, the template. Take this, copy paste into your own HackMD document, and then you can start working. Then you have the template. You don't need to copy paste, but you could also look at that one and just write and replicate. But try to have it in the same format. If you're unsure how the format is, well, you could also go look in previous projects. Take any project, and you can see how they look. And they are very much inspired by a Hackster tutorial. So hackster.io and those kind of tutorials. The template is very much inspired by that kind of tutorial. So that it's that simple. And also, as I said, you are able to use HackMD. That might be the easiest option. But also, please use GitHub.
Yeah, I actually just got a question. You answered the question, or because it just happens?
No, actually, I saw the question now. I actually didn't know about the question when I said that, but it's already described in the IoT tutorial. So this has been for all previous years. We've had the same. So you're very much free to use GitHub. And if you wanted to use maybe GitLab or whatever, well, that would be fine as well, as long as you like create this markdown format and host your project. I would actually say that GitHub might be the better alternative. So those of you that are accustomed to these kind of tools, it's not a requirement for you in this course to use GitHub or Git or those tools. But all of you that are already into software development, I would actually say that, well, the main choice for you would be to host a GitHub repository under your own profile, and then make a README file for your project, and the README file is essentially your project. That would be, I would say, option number one if you already know GitHub. But HackMD is easy. And everything that I have said now should be in text here. So you should be able to open this IoT tutorial template and more or less put your thumb and then read and follow. And there is a video on exactly how to do this, where I actually show every step of the way. And this video is still valid, even though I recorded it when I was 2 years younger than I am now. But it's still valid. Yes. Yeah. Any questions about anything?
We have one, okay to use info blocks like Bob to make text stand out. Okay with highlights or mark some text in different colors.
Yeah, you have a full creative freedom as long as you follow the format, more or less. I would say more or less. What is important is that if you don't follow the the formatting, like the general titles and the general theme of the template, it will be harder for someone that is peer reviewing your project to find. So it's also a way to sort of standardize and make it easier to find. But the formatting of your report, be creative. I have no, like, actually, it's good if you if you are. If you're going for the A/B project, and even if you make a C project, if you want to include a video file in your project that describes some part of what you're doing, demoing or something, well, please include it with a YouTube link or something. And if you're using HackMD, you're able to embed YouTube links with, I think it's brackets, curly brackets, and the percentage YouTube. And then, if I do remember correctly, but there are guides on how to do this. HackMD it's a nice tool for making Markdown look great. So, yes. You can see in the background that we actually have a Midjourney generated cyberpunk Midsummer Eve theme. So obviously we are very near midsummer. And the theme is a cyberpunk midsummer pole.
Yeah. Looks punky.
Yeah. Okay. In that case, maybe we say happy midsummer to everyone.
Yeah. Have a great, really nice weekend, and
glad midsommar.
Glad midsommar.
Yeah.
And then we'll see you next week.
Next week, Monday
next week
to Friday, every day.
Every day.
Yeah.
Is it twice or 3 times a day?
Not twice a day.
Yeah, okay.
So it's 10 session.
Yeah, that's the spirit. Yeah. Super. Okay.
Have a good time. Bye-bye.